Hello everyone and welcome back to another Fam 2 Cents cooking video and yet another installment in the HelloFresh series. Today's going to be an interesting one. We're going to make some bacon and cream spaghetti, which I'm going to admit is something I would have never thought to make on my own. Typically you have a very specific view or just kind of image whenever somebody says the word spaghetti to you, like you think of spaghetti, and whenever somebody says spaghetti to me, I've never once thought broccoli, bacon, creamy spaghetti. It just, there's no way I would have come up with that. With all that said, I was very interested in this recipe, and the first thing we're gonna do before we really get into it is obviously we're gonna talk about the ingredients. And those ingredients consist of broccoli florets, bacon, spaghetti, cheese roux concentrate, which kind of confused me, cream cheese, garlic herb butter, and Parmesan cheese. Obviously the extra ingredients were salt, pepper, and olive oil. Those are the ones that they don't send you and they recommend you have on hand, which you should if you're doing any delivery service, because you're pretty much going to need them all the time. Now that that step is finished, we need to talk about the process in which to make the dish and the instructions. First things first, this dish was heavy, quite heavy, and very greasy. Though especially the way that they had you cook it. Honestly, it's not that big of an issue for me, even though it should be, all things considered. But I can absolutely see how it could be for other people. The greasiness and kind of heaviness of the dish. The reason for it is because of the way that they had you kind of cook the bacon right alongside the broccoli in the same pan. So obviously bacon is very greasy and produces a lot of grease. This was very thick cut bacon that they sent, which was actually pretty good. I really appreciate them sending thick cut bacon, but the way that they had you cook it, because I didn't put the aluminum divider that I tend to do in a lot of other dishes that I'll make with HelloFresh, or some kind of divider, or just put them in different pans for that matter. The grease really kind of traveled over and mingled with the broccoli, and that broccoli absorbed so much of the grease. And once you put that all together in the pot, man, it spells a very greasy and heavy dish. I mean, I don't know if that was the intent. I'm not sure if that was just some kind of oversight, or maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. But you know, obviously you can take some precautions to prevent that for future references if that's something you're concerned about. And to be perfectly honest, next time if I ever pick this dish again, I would probably take that measure, because it was definitely a bit heavy. Everything else in regards to the instructions were fairly straightforward and pretty easy to understand, all things considered. The cheese roux concentrate was completely new to me. That was very strange. I'd never seen anything like that before. It was just kind of weird, but it worked as a good thickener, and that's what it was for. It was to thicken up the sauce, and it did just that. One thing I would recommend though is, chances are if you get something like this, because there's a starch mixed into it, the starch would have probably concentrated towards the bottom during the trip. So make sure you give that a good squeeze and shake, and just kind of make sure it's back into a full liquid form before you attempt to pour it into your dish, or else you're just going to pour a bunch of liquid in your dish and the starch is just going to stay in the pack, and that's not how you want to do that. So keep that in mind if you get these little packets like this or whatever, anything with starch in it that's supposed to form a roux. Make sure you're shaking that up and mixing it up and getting all that starch, because you need it. That's why it's there. Don't leave it in the pack. It's necessary. Overall though, when it comes to the dish itself, I think it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. The bacon, broccoli, and spaghetti all went together really good. The bacon fat gave that spaghetti a really nice richness to it, even though it might have been a little too rich based on how they had you cook it. It was very filling dish. There are several tweaks that I could suggest. I've made a few already to make it both taste better and be healthier for you. And I'm sure some of you savvy chefs out there will tell me down in the comment section below different ways you would have used, or methods you would have used to make it better. Please do. I love those comments down in the comment section below. As far as the final verdict is concerned, absolutely try this dish. It is really, really good. It's kind of opened my eyes a little bit about the concept of broadening your horizons when it comes, like, you hear something like spaghetti and you have this one image, like, this is spaghetti, and you know, that may be, but there are different things you can do with spaghetti noodles themselves to make all kinds of different dishes. So try not to be a closed-minded chef or cook or whatever it is your qualification is. Dishes like this really expand my mind. They put these interesting thoughts in my head about different things and ways that I can cook that I never thought of before, so I'm very grateful in that aspect. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I do look forward to playing with recipes and concepts like this in the future, for when I start back up the regular cooking videos. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching yet another episode of Fam 2 Cents. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and also share it, even if you don't like it. You know, share it out of spite, so everybody can all witness how terrible my cooking is. See, that'll teach me, and then they'll come and they'll downvote, and I'll be sad, and then you win, because that's how the internet works. Don't forget to look down in the description for the HelloFresh discount link. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.